6:43, welcome back. A jury yesterday handed down a guilty verdict in the death of 6-year-old from Jefferson Parish. Bunnak Landon returns to court next Tuesday at 9 a.m. for sentencing. While that trial lasted just a few days, it took 2 hours for Landon to be brought to justice. Joining me this morning to discuss this case, Dane Ciolino, a law professor from Loyola University. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Guilty on all counts here. Your reaction to that?
Well, not very surprising. The defense never contended whether she actually committed the murder. It was all about whether or not, at the time she committed the murder, she was legally insane in the sense that she could not tell the difference between right and wrong. And the jury heard those arguments and quickly rejected them.
Yeah, the prosecution called it a calculated cover-up. Her defense said, though, listen, look at this video. She's in brightly colored clothing as she's rolling this barrel down the street. This couldn't have been done by someone in their right minds. But to that, the prosecution said, yeah, but she buried her phone. She made phone calls to others. She showed up to the police station. How strong was the argument of insanity by way of her defense, you think?
Well, not particularly strong. She did have a defense psychiatrist expressed the opinion that she had a psychotic episode. But the problem with this defense in many, many cases is that the defendant engages in conduct that shows they're aware of the wrongfulness and criminality of their conduct. Here, this woman had done Google searches to find a criminal defense lawyer. And someone who doesn't understand that what they're doing is wrong or criminal is certainly not going to be searching for a criminal defense lawyer.
Definitely a strong argument there. Also, we did hear from the young girl's biological mother and father, and they talked about how she feared being around Landon. How strong do you think that was in testimony for jurors?
Well, it was certainly very emotional. It didn't really bear directly on the issue of insanity.
Right.
But of course, jurors are moved not just by the logic of the evidence, but by the emotional impact of it. And nothing could be more heinous than the killing of an innocent young girl, and the jurors obviously were moved by that testimony and unimpressed with the insanity arguments they heard.
Right. The prosecution's claim that was successful here in terms of the jury's verdict that this was an intentional act carried out by Bunnak Landon. She could have been eligible for the death penalty, but they didn't pursue it. Your thoughts there?
Yeah, this is a first-degree murder case. She was found guilty of first-degree murder, and the principal difference between first-degree murder and second-degree murder is that a person guilty of first-degree murder is eligible for the death penalty. But here, the district attorney in Jefferson Parish decided not to complicate this case any more than it is, and decided to pursue life in prison. So although she's going to be sentenced next week, the result is already, it's inevitable. She's going to get life without the benefit of probation, parole, or suspension of sentence. Although she could have gotten the death penalty, she's never going to leave jail.
All right, Dane Ciolino, law professor, Loyola University. We do greatly appreciate your insights, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.